The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach. The Island Times News Update begins right now. Here's Tom Patton.
Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The Atlantic Beach City Commission Monday night directed City Manager Nelson Van Leer and City Attorney Brenna Durden to work with Jacksonville Attorney William Britton on a rewrite of its sign code. The code needs to be rewritten following a U.S. Supreme Court ruling last year that requires cities to treat all temporary signs equally under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. As it's currently written, the Atlantic Beach sign code is unconstitutional, according to Durden. The Commission heard a presentation on the history of Reed versus the Town of Gilbert, Arizona from Britton, an attorney with the Rogers Towers law firm, and an expert in sign law. The city then discussed whether to pay Britton at least $15,000 to rewrite its sign code. Durden advocated for hiring Britton to do the work.
Quite frankly, I could not do this work for $15,000. I do not have the background that Mr. Britton has, and that is a very valuable source for us here in Northeast Florida.
Britton said that he often reduces his fees for city governments, which he would do in this case, and that he wants to be sure the ordinance is written correctly.
I'm going to get this right. I'm going to try to make sure that there's going to be no incentive for anybody to take issue with your ordinance. That's the real value here. Is there's going to be no incentive for anyone to target you, and you're going to get the most up-to-date preambles, whatever's out there as of now, to make sure that your community values are protected and people are warned off of coming after you.
Mayor Mitch Reeves said that $15,000 was a good investment if it prevents the city from being hit with a $1 million lawsuit, as St. Augustine Beach was over its sign code. However, Commissioner Jimmy Hill said that while the city will be getting a bargain hiring Britton to write the sign code, it can't afford to hire an outside attorney to rewrite its laws on a regular basis.
Now, we may have to because of the urgency of correcting our sign issues, but right now they're suspended. We're not in any liability because we're not enforcing anything. The only people that can probably do anything is our citizens may take action because we're not enforcing anything, which would be a whole nother ballgame. But I would like to just know what our options are. I don't think going down this path, and this may be our option. You may be the absolute perfect solution to this, and I know it's a value. I don't have any question with the value of it. That's not my concern. It's just we're small. The scale is the problem. That's the issue, is can we pay an outside third-party attorney to deal with all of our upcoming ordinance issues?
The Commission directed City Manager Van Leer and City Attorney Durden to proceed with having Mr. Britton rewrite the code, but also explore what other options might be available to the city. The issue will be back on the agenda at the Commission's November 28th meeting. The Atlantic Beach Commission on Monday night discussed placing a temporary moratorium on businesses that would dispense or cultivate medical marijuana in the city. In the recent election, voters approved a constitutional amendment that would broaden the base of people who could be prescribed medical marijuana. As it does in proposed ordinances in Neptune Beach and Jacksonville Beach, the moratorium would ban the opening or expansion of any business that includes medical marijuana for a period to be established by the Commission. Mayor Mitch Reeves said that he wants to be sure the public has plenty of opportunity to give input into the issue.
Right now, under our current zoning, that business could come into Atlantic Beach. If they come and apply tomorrow, we would have to give them, open them up. And I think what I'm looking at on this is a way to just, we haven't got the feedback from the public yet. We don't know how the public feels. Just imagine, I'm going way out on a limb right now. I'm at the end of the ship getting ready to jump in the water. But imagine if somebody would have had this insight about filling stations 4 years ago that said, we're just going to wait and look and see, does the public really want filling stations? That's all we're saying here, is that right now they could come. We just don't know if we want them or don't want them. We don't know how the public feels about it. We're just trying to protect. That's where we are. That's where I'm looking at it more than I am I mean, I got mixed emotions about it because a lot of people it helps, and some people won't want to drive across the ditch to go buy the stuff. But that's all I meant.
The commission agreed to move forward with formal consideration of the moratorium at a future meeting. An ordinance placing a moratorium on medical marijuana businesses is on the Jacksonville Beach City Council agenda for a first vote on Monday. The Jacksonville Beach ordinance would postpone the approval of any medical marijuana treatment centers or distribution organizations for 1 year after being enacted. City Manager George Forbes says that the moratorium will give the city time to consider the enabling legislation that will be enacted by the state, as well as analyzing the potential impacts of such businesses in the city. Passage of the moratorium was recommended by the Jacksonville Beach Planning Commission. Well, when we come back, planning the future of Jarboe Park. This is the Island Times News Update.
The news you can count on. The Island Times News Update will be right back.
Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. A community charrette was held Tuesday evening at the Beaches branch of the Jacksonville Public Library to get public input on ways to improve Jarboe Park and Neptune Beach. The meeting was organized by Josh Messenger, chair of the Ishbrant Beautification Committee, and facilitated by landscape architect Buck Pittman, who has donated time to the city to begin the process. Pittman said the purpose of this meeting was not to be concerned about what projects might cost, but to let the city know what people want in its largest public park.
To take a great open green space that sits in the middle of a community that's been completely developed and make it into something special. We don't have very much green space left throughout the city, and especially those that are located in the center of the city or a residential neighborhood or even a commercial neighborhood right off A1A like this is. So being able to get the community to recognize its potential and bring to it the knowledge that they have of the space and the challenges.
The eventual outcome would be the development of a park master plan that would include both short and long-term projects that would make the park more attractive, cohesive, and usable by residents. Pittman said the completion of some of those projects could be years in the future, but some could be completed in a much shorter time frame. He said he would take the ideas hashed out by residents Tuesday night and put them on his drawing board, but it would be up to the city to determine whether it wants to move forward with any changes at Jarboe Park. The Jacksonville Beach City Council will consider an agreement with the Volunteer Life-Saving Corps at its Monday night meeting. The city entered into an initial agreement with the Corps in 2012 when the Red Cross pulled back from life-saving services such as the Corps. Under the terms of the agreement, the Corps would provide training and certification for its candidates, as well as ocean rescue services. The city provides phone services and other utilities, as well as the use of city vehicles and the Fletcher High School pool for training purposes. If it is approved as recommended, the agreement would be in effect for 10 years, after which it would continue on a year-by-year basis. Well, don't forget the annual Turkey Day celebration in the Beaches Town Center is Thanksgiving morning. The annual event sees thousands of people gathering on First Street from Pete's Bar to Atlantic Boulevard. The event runs from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. And beginning December 1st, Atlantic Beach will hold a 2-week-long celebration of its 90th birthday. Events include an artisans fair at the Adele Grage Center on December 1st from 5 till 9 p.m., a Christmas tree lighting ceremony in Town Center with a magic show, band and drum line, local dance companies, and a visit from Santa and Mrs. Claus, and a reception December 15th back at the Adele Grage Center from 5 until 9.
The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach, forecasting your beaches. This is your local look weather.
Well, the National Weather Service says we can expect lots of sunshine through the week next week. Saturday's highs will be in the upper 70s, but then it will turn cooler on Sunday, with highs in the mid to upper 60s Sunday through Tuesday, and back into the 70s by Wednesday. Lows will be all the way down to the upper 40s over the weekend, then in the mid 50s to mid 60s next week. The Island Times is always digital, always free at theislandtimes.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to be the first to know about stories posted on the Island Times. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.